Jay from Team DMA. So it's a little late in the day, but I wanted to cover the the trending decks, like either regionals or nationals, or even in the qualifiers, the current qualifiers that happened a few days ago, all the way up to, well, it's not that far, but a month. So as you already know, with the ban list, and there's a few adjustments that some decks are making to be relevant. I wanted to show you a few decks that you are going to be dueling. Right now, the TCG is flooded with extremely powerful decks that are just ugly, nasty, winning regionals first place, winning first place nationals, and you can see them. If you didn't already see them, and this one off the list right here, I believe, even though a lot of people don't give it the credit, I can vouch for this deck. It's broken. Dragon Link, even with the ban list getting hit with the few cards, it doesn't matter. The deck has other variations of engines, and it could just put a bunch of monsters on the board, and it can have a lot of interruptions with OTK, FTK, and they can set up a lot of basically anything they want. They do links, they do synchros, and they can do XYZ if they want. But it's pretty dangerous. And you know when you played like a regionals or nationals version, because on my channel I think I have about 5 duels. If anybody has any questions regarding any of the decks, let me know and I'll go find the videos for you guys. I might put them on the playlist so that you can see them in my channel. But there's six super sick decks, and they play hand traps on top of everything. Their engines are really ugly. They just put a bunch of monsters on the board, and they're just linking to synchroing to XYZ, and by the time you know it, you're done. And then it plays really smoothly. Eradicator Epidemic Virus. If you didn't see the win, I think it was on the regionals or the nationals to take the first place. And then they've been taking a lot of the top 3 spots for a while, and they hit you with the Eradicator, so all your spells are gone, and the deck is just playing through. It's sick. It's so crazy. People don't talk a lot about this deck, but it's broken. I have all the versions on my channel. Luckily, I was able to pull the win with my AC 130 on all the versions, but you can see it. It's no joke. They play a fuse with Bestial and all kinds of stuff. By the time you know it, it's it's horrible. It's horrible. It's a horrible matchup. So here, moving on with this. Now, Runic is starting to be splashed. It was already, but it's starting to be splashed more and more on all sorts of decks. So you could just find it everywhere, and all sorts of different um, profiles. And Runic is mixed with, like I said, all kinds of profiles. It's broken. It's good, and you can see it all over the place. These, they trust on their spells, and they negate. They have some negations, and that's all the deck does. Labyrinth, you should already know. Labyrinth is probably the kryptonite of Dark Magician. I have the duels with regionals and nationals versus this deck. They hit you with multiple eradicators. Sometimes you can't play your traps, sometimes you can't play your spells. And on top of that, they're having negations and interruptions, and they're just chaining off the field in special. You're not gonna have a fun time. The next one, Branded Chimera. This is one of the most popular. I'm gonna be selling my Branded Chimera deck in a few days. If anyone's interested, let me know. It's gonna be sold pretty cheap. I'm trying to debate whether to sell it together or sell it in pieces. I might sell the Chimera package for like $30, and I'll try to make the shipping as low as I can, maybe $1 or two. And basically, Chimera splashed in a lot of decks, but when you splash it and brand it, it is broken. They rip cards off your hand. They go through your hand traps. By the time you know it, you have 1 or 2 cards. And they have a bunch of special summon spam. They can do fusion and synchros. It's ugly. It's powerful. This deck has been taking regional nationals first place all over the place and just completely dominating the locals. It's very, very, very powerful. I have the three versions that won the nationals first place and the regionals. I have the three versions defeated with my AC 130. You probably already seen me do this deck, but make no mistake, it's super broken. So the one after this is Vanquished Souls. So a lot of people don't talk about this. In fact, I don't even hear people talk about this deck. The deck is broken with the ability to switch over monsters like those normal or special, and then they switch places with other monsters in your hand, and they have multiple effects. It's ugly, and by the time you know it, you're gone. And this one is considered by many, and I agree, it's the number one deck, Unchained. So I've played a lot of the variations, not the pure Unchained yet, but they're very ugly. If you never dueled against it, let me tell you quickly, it can do 5 to 6 negates on your first turn. So you draw 5 cards, and then you draw the sixth one. All of the 6 are negated. So I don't know if you comprehend that. You're screwed. This deck is no joke. People are outing this deck because it relies a lot on the graveyard and special summoning. They're relying a lot in removal from graveyard like DD Crows and the Bestial. And some of them have effects to where you can't destroy their cards. So it's pretty broken. Other cards that people are playing, they're playing the Super Poly with the Garura. And then they're also following it up with Change of Heart. They basically take the big hitter negation, and then they use the effect, and then attack, and then at the end, they'll tribute it. So it's like they took, three monsters, because one of them, they get rid of them. The other one, they attack over it. And then the last one, they took it with Change of Heart, and then they tribute it. So they're doing a 3-hit combo. It's pretty good. And the other one, like I said, is Super Poly. But yeah, this deck is number one. Monsters come out of the deck and out of the graveyard, and they're just linking like crazy. And they do XYZ. By the time you know it, like I said, 5 to 6 negates to start. It can do more. So very ugly, ugly deck. Another deck that has kind of been going and coming back, Tearlaments. So there is a new version currently, and it's super hyper broken. It's so dangerous and so powerful. I honestly believe Tearlaments is going to be here to stay for a while longer. They're changing engines and stuff, and it's ugly. They've been fusing it with Runic. There's all sorts of variations of it. I have most of the duels won with it, but I'm not going to lie. It still feels like a tier 0 at times. It's very, very ugly. Flunderies, believe it or not, has been having a comeback. That's not topping any events. But if you know anything about Flunderies, it's a headache for everyone. When they used to have the statue, no one can beat this deck. You can see it on my channel, Merked, with the budget deck, but I've never said this deck is not strong, because there's a lot of people stating that I said they're no good, that they're easy. No. There's a reason why they're first place nationals and regionals, and there's a reason why no one can beat them. I just said I can beat it with my budget deck, but I didn't say it wasn't strong. It's the strongest. It still maneuvers through so much. Sometimes some of the one card that they play, like a shifter, can end the game. It's so ugly. Flunderies. And that's gonna be it for the video. If you have any questions or concerns, let me know. These are, what was it, like top 7, top 8 decks that are trending. Now I know in the comment section people are gonna say you missed Rescue Ace and a few other decks. Yeah, these are mainly just the decks that I've been seeing a lot. And we know that there is Rescue Ace and other decks also involved, but I'm just covering the ones that I've seen a lot. And if you check off the boxes, they're basically all the decks that are topping events. So hopefully you like the video. Comment, subscribe, share, like, and let me know what you think. But I haven't missed it, Dark Magic Attack.